Hey, this is Jason Knight, the ECW Original, and you are now listening to GoTarryn TV.
Hey everyone, welcome to GoTarryn TV today. I'm Tarryn, the traveling trainer from Atlanta, Georgia. Today's episode number 476, and we have returning back to GoTarryn TV, as you heard, ECW original and former ECW television champion, the sexiest on earth, Jason Knight. Jason, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fine. How's everybody out there?
Very good, thank you. And since we've had you on last time, how's everything been going?
It's been going well. Everything's been going well. No changes or anything like that. Everything's just kind of a smooth sailing, and still doing my thing.
Very good. Well, Jason, last couple times we've had you on, we've been talking about fitness, and that's what I wanted to delve into. And I had a lot of really good positive feedback about our blog and our podcast interview. So today, I wanted to talk to you about that. If you don't mind, though, speaking of change, there's been a couple of crazy changes happening in the last couple of weeks, as we know. I wanted to ask you, if we could touch on Jonathan Reckner, a.k.a. Balls Mahoney, of course, one of your ECW alumni colleagues. So if you don't mind, can you tell us maybe your memories and stories of working with him?
Well, I can tell you, he started wrestling at the age of 14.
Oh, I didn't know that. Wow.
Actually, him and Chris Candido were both trained by Chris's grandfather. I think his name Popeye.
That sounds familiar.
I forgot.
Yeah, you're right. Chuck, I think, maybe?
Yeah, and excuse me. And, they, of course, I believe they trained at the Monster Factory as well. And, as I said, he started wrestling at the age of 14. So, he was quite a veteran by the time that he was in his 20s, and then later on in his 30s. So I knew of him before the ECW and everything. And, I mean, he's been around all over the world, pretty much all the major companies. And as far as ECW, I mean, he truly created a legacy, and definitely one of the most popular individuals. As far as he had the whole hardcore style where he would pretty much do anything, which really got him over.
Yeah.
But John was a hell of an amateur wrestler as well, and a great athlete. Moved like a lightweight for his size.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, that would pretty much bring forth injuries and all that. So he did have quite a few of them. But I do remember working through it, and we did travel a lot, and roomed a lot, and just had a lot of fun on the road.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always it's tragic ever so passes away like that, and especially at 44, and I believe it was the very day after his birthday. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
So it's definitely tragic. However, again, I always have to reiterate that I've not become numb to it. However, I've adjusted the way that I personally deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's more to someone's life achievements and their legacy, instead of completely dive into mourning them. Obviously you do, but I would much rather remember them as what they have achieved in their lifetime. And I just obviously I feel terrible, especially for his family. However, he did leave a legacy. I mean, his son will always know that his dad was one of the greatest professional performers out there.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what the what the outcome was. I mean, we all have to go sometimes, some sooner, some later.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact is, that he made a huge difference in ECW, and both him and Axel, and both on the individual level.
Mm-hmm.
And truly, I mean, if there's a story of an American dream, that someone made it and traveled the world and was booked solid constantly for many, many, many years, probably all the way till right up till the end. And John did it. He achieved it. So he's up there with all the greats, living and dead,
Mm-hmm.
that have made it in the business. I mean, a kid from small town New Jersey,
Mm-hmm.
made it big. He did. I mean, and he everything. Everything else, whatever about his life and all that, none of that matters. All it really matters is, the legacy that he left, and the impact that he had on the sport, the business, the fans, and his colleagues, and obviously his family.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very well said. And to mention Axel Rotten, of course, Brian Knight, and you. Last time you and I spoke here, we were talking about him as well. And this has been, this year of the deaths. Last couple of days, of course, the other one that reeling people is China, a.k.a. Joni Laurer. So,
Sure.
Did you have any run-ins with her, or what was your impressions of her and her career?
I never have. However,
Okay.
I know that. I never have. However, obviously I know very well of her.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, you can immediately detect that, she was a very, very hard worker.
Yeah.
By all means, even her pre-wrestling career. An educated, intelligent young lady
Mm-hmm.
that has done so many things. I believe, she worked for the government, and, there were, she had one achievement after another during her life.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, she had a unique size and a unique look, and was always in tremendous shape. Her achievements in the WWE were next to none, really.
Yeah.
She's another one that made something over herself, and again, it's just simply tragic for someone that young to leave like that. However, again, she left a legacy that will never ever be forgotten and can't be changed by anyone, no matter whether they laugh or not. The fact of the matter is that she's another one. It's almost like when you look at the Mount Rushmore, and I see a lot of these, performers, wrestlers and singers alike that have left, and it's almost like, wait a minute, it's almost you want to carve them up there, carve their images, because they really never left, because they'll never be forgotten because for what they did for the business, and I think that anyone that with hard work achieves something so unique and something so in a business difficult to get into. It's, I think that they should actually be praised and honored, maybe almost as much as, there's more. And however, I lean on, celebrating their lifetime achievements more.
Certainly.
Because that's more on a positive level for me,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And what was ironic, too, not to tangent too far off, but of course, we heard about her death, and then a couple hours later we heard about Prince's death. So I'm hoping that doesn't overshadow hers, obviously.
No. I mean, that's why I mentioned wrestlers, musicians, actors alike. I mean, everyone made it in an industry.
Right.
Everyone who made it, in these separate industries that are so difficult to get into, and pretty much were the best at what they did in their own way. That is huge, my friend.
Mm-hmm. No,
really
absolutely.
You know,
mm-hmm.
and same as with Prince, one of the best ever. Will never, ever, ever be forgotten.
Mm-hmm.
Right up there with Michael Jackson and Lane Staley and Scott Weiland and the best of the Elvis, the best of the best.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And to me, they may not be walking the earth at this very moment, but they sure are a part of everything that has gone on while they were alive. Everything that is going on at the moment and the future. Everything will be referred back to these people that have truly opened doors for others that are following their footsteps.
Mm-hmm. Very well said. True. Mm-hmm. And speaking of wrestling, Jason, when we get near the end of the video interview, I'm going to talk to you about a show coming up next month in May, and I wanted to ask you, because you're going to be getting back in the ring, and I'm very curious about that. But for all the people listening out there now, I'm going to ask you, I've told everyone out there, you are a phenomenal physique and great shape. I love talking to you because I love getting really good ideas from you in workouts. The last couple times we've talked, I'm really impressed. And every time I see your pictures, again, I've said this before, I'll say it again, you look younger and you look in better shape every time I see you. So it's amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Whatever you're doing, again, people listening, you need to know the secrets here. And that's what I wanted to ask you and pick your brain. So Jason, first question for you. As a personal trainer myself, this time of season right now in Atlanta, of course, where I'm at, the weather's getting nicer. I think I'm speaking for the majority of the nation. And a lot of people will use that as an excuse. I see it all the time. A lot of my clients say, well, I'm going to skip my workout today because it's so nice outside. I'm just going to hang out and, sit out on the porch and drink a beer or whatever. But so whenever you get that, whenever you have, let's say, like your friends or, anyone you're hanging out with, and they say, hey, Jason, you go ahead and do your thing at the gym, but I just don't have time. I'm just not motivated. My question to you, how do you give that advice as a fitness professional and expert to people if they tell you that they're just not motivated to work out today?
Well, you know what it is. Quite frankly, it depends on who I'm talking to, because I do know quite a few people that train very, very hard, and pretty well. Well, I'm one of them. So to be quite frank, I'm not going to lie to you. I tend to get a bit obsessive and overtrain. I tend to. I mean, I keep myself away from it, but every now and again, I find myself. And when you're really overtired, when your mind is not really working well, and you feel that you've come to a point where you've gone beyond that ultimate pump. When you when the positive muscle reaction versus to leave it at its hardness starts kind of deflating, and so you're pushing yourself beyond what you really should. So the thing is that I have run into many individuals, and they're truly I don't really have many friends that are into that whole thing. Well, excuse. Well, I'm going to do this and that, because later on these people tend to be the jealous ones who say that you're judgmental and all that. For instance, a person comes to me and asks me for advice in training and dieting, this and that, So I'll sit down, I'll write it down, and do the whole thing, go over it with them,
Yeah.
And yet, I see that there are no results. Comes back again and again and again. So finally, I'm going to say, look, the formula doesn't change. I mean, the laws of physics are the laws of physics. The law of gravity, the law of gravity is when you drop an object, it's gonna react to gravity, correct?
Exactly.
So it's not gonna go sideways. It won't go up, toward the sky. So you're either gonna if you're gonna ask me for advice, you're either gonna listen to it, take it, or just leave it at that. So then I tend to get these people that get, you're judgmental, you're being an asshole and all that. No, I'm not. I'm just simply telling you that the formula doesn't change.
Yeah.
If you don't apply to these simple rules, as far as training, dieting, cardio, rest, and all that type of thing,
right,
you will not get results.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really hang out with many people like that. I see that. Well, I'm going to go sit on the porch and all that. Yeah, whatever. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I've been through that, and you try to be good to people and try to be the good guy and the humble
Mm-hmm.
the wrestler / trainer that you don't want to make anyone feel uncomfortable. Like, look at me and look at you,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
However, I do know people that I completely agree with them every now and again that look, I just need to, I need to chill back, and sometimes, sometimes you need to hold off even a few weeks at a time. Because you just push your body to the point where especially like with me with the whole wrestling and everything, and when I was traveling a lot and trying to make the gym and then injured and hurt, and you're trying to find good food along the way, and you're truly trying to stay away from drugs like steroids and growth hormone and all that. So when you're trying to do it, you're trying to do it basically naturally, and keep everything sort of like clockwork. And of course, don't get me wrong, at night it's very hard not to hang out with the guys and and have a few beers and a few shots and all that. So that's by the time you go to bed, 3 hours later it's time to wake up. So it was, I found it very difficult, but I found this routine. So I pushed my body for so many years like that, and then when I, wasn't on the road like I used to be, I had more time to train. So I supplemented that to, the what I believe in, that super high volume training. I don't believe in seasons. Well, this is a season to get big. This is a season. For me, I believe in you start training to get to that point, where you build enough satisfactory muscle mass in order to start shaping it and chiseling it, cutting it down, and we all know how that's done. And number one, through dieting, and change the training routine. So I've changed my training routine to strictly very high volume training, and then sometimes if I tend to overdo it, and I do feel it because it's just. Your training feels great. Now I want to do another set of giant sets or whatever, another rotation or 2 or 3. It gets to you, and sometimes you have to kind of pull back and take some time off. So to those that they know who they are and they have made good gains and achievements and everything, like I said, they feel that they're being overtired and dragging themselves, and almost like the brain is not working properly. The thinking slows down, and you feel like you have to catch your breath and everything because everything is just kind of like slowing down. That's usually a sign of overtraining. So kick back. As far as those that going to continue to make excuses. It's a beautiful day, and I'll just sit here, and beer or whatever. This is I guess they're gonna same thing as the people that buy. They purchase memberships and different items off TV. That should go on a wall of shame. These exercise pieces of equipment that amount to absolutely nothing. Oh no, next time I'm gonna. Same thing with I mean, I believe in. I've never tried it, but I believe in that. Insanity workout and B90X and all that because you can see it's intense. But then you're saying, well, I'm gonna purchase. But no, what you're gonna do is you're gonna start off getting yourself into shape, And then you're going to purchase P90X or the Insanity workout, whatever, because you're going to die the first time you try to do it. It seems like you already have to be conditioned for something like that. So people don't understand. They think they're going to, or I'm going to start running, and then you're going to start running and damage your joints unless you start walking first, and then brisk walking, and then the rest of that. So, I put that in the same category as these people. They purchase these items, that, either mean absolutely nothing, or either, like these workouts that they're absolutely positively difficult to perform. And that's how they fail. People just not understanding and realizing that, look, if you feel uncomfortable going to the gym, there's always YouTube. There are different workouts that will start you off. And, simply at home, purchase a bench and some dumbbells, and preferably, a bench that has the leg attachments. And there are routines. There are routines out there that, within a few weeks, and then especially a few months, one will be ready to have the confidence of going to the gym or buying more equipment. And then the thing is, you got to start off slowly. So that is what most people, they underestimate the difficulties of beginner training, and then they reverse back to, oh wait, it's a beautiful day, so I'm just going to have a few beers, and and that kind of those are bad habits, a vicious cycle that it's difficult to break.
Certainly. Very well said, Jason. I love what you said, because that lines up with exactly what I tell my new clients, is that working out, getting better in shape is not a sprint, it's a marathon, and we're going to progressively do baby steps, is what I like to say in the first part, because like you said, they get not motivated because they can't do the first workout and they give up so easily. I like that. It's really good. Let me ask you this, Jason. My next question for you is, a lot of people get lower back pain chronically, and you see it a lot, and we're all guilty of it. Oh, my back hurts, pull a muscle, etc. Are there certain, I guess this is a two-part question to you. One is, what's the best way for people to avoid back pain in general? And two, what are your best back exercises that you like to do?
Well, in '93, I had two back surgeries, lower back surgeries.
I remember that. That's right. Yep.
Yeah. Yes. One was like a starter, and then the other one was major.
Yes.
And my fault was not taking time off between going. So summer '93, I had those back surgeries.
Yeah.
And then in fall, like I think it was October, I was already in the ring. Which was a foolish thing for me. But it's I was 30 years old, and I thought I had the. So the thing is to avoid, obviously, when you're lifting something, you use your legs, wider stance and all that. Also, I don't want to, but don't get into the squats until you're really truly ready and you understand the form. Especially if you're a beginner, intermediate. Don't these squats are absolutely essential, and they're wonderful. But I see a lot of people get hurt because they do them wrong, and then they figure, well, my legs are strong. Legs are the strongest part of the body. Yes, your legs are the strongest part of your body, but they're not as strong as that guy that's been squatting for 15 years.
Right.
And then you're in the rack next to him, attempting to do the same thing. Pretty much like anything, even lifting. When you're on a bench and trying to lift the dumbbells up, and a lot of people jerk their back. Just little things like that. But if you're injured, what I find for me is obviously always some kind of a warm up in order to get the blood flowing and to warm up the joints, so they're not like cold rubber bands, they don't snap. And then stretching, and they're awesome stretching exercises that don't take more than they really do not take more than 15 minutes a day. And they stretch out the lower back, upper back, because I mean it all connects. It's not just about the back. You want to stretch out your pelvis, your knees, your legs, everything, all these joints that actually do connect and affect your lower back. Also, having a strong core helps, because that protects your lower back. That means abdominal exercises are essential. And again, for abs, it doesn't take long. A few minutes a day, every other day, as long as you keep them strong. And again, a lot of people, they don't want to go walk around ripped with the ripped abs, so they just want to have longer. So it doesn't, if your abdominals are not shown ripped with deep cuts and everything, it doesn't mean that you don't have strong abs. The ripped abs, obviously, all it means is that the person is very lean and dieted down. And, he's training, but underneath it, your abs may look like it. So, I don't want to look like that, or go through that. No, continue doing what you're doing, but at least train your abdominals in order to strengthen them. And, but I'm telling you, the warm up and stretching, it really helps. And it does take about a week and a half to start feeling it. Because stretching exercises it's pretty much like training. You feel it the next day. Oh my gosh, I'm hurting, But then you do it a little at a time, and always make sure to warm up before you stretch. Because, you think of it as a rubber band. And if that rubber band is cold and you stretch out, it's going to snap. When it's warm, it'll stretch. So,
good analogy. I like that.
Yeah.
Very, very good. How about last time I talked to you, Jason, we went over your workout routine and some of your favorite exercises. I didn't get to ask you this because I wanted to find out, are you a kettlebell guy? Do you like using the kettlebells?
I never have, honestly. I mean, I'm sure they work, but I never have, because they really don't attract me. I've used it for shrugs, because it seems pretty. It seems pretty easy. Grabbing them, because they have kind of like handles.
Yeah, right.
But I never have. Look, I have nothing against them, and I'm sure that they're wonderful. But I'm not attracted to that kind of I've seen some workouts, and I've never been. It just doesn't sound to me. Same thing as that CrossFit. I've tried it. I respect it, but it's not for me.
Sure.
I've never trained with kettlebells. No.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. What I was gonna say, I like the when I travel, there's interchangeable kettlebell weights, meaning I have a stack of 20-pound kettlebells, each of them, but you can take the 3-pound plates out, so they go from like 5 to 20 pounds in 3-pound increments. So that's the thing I like about it, is that you can just travel with it. It makes it a lot easier. Very good. Now let me ask you this too, because last time you and I talked. Oh yes, I'm sorry.
I have dumbbells like that. No.
Oh, yes, right, exactly. You have, are they called is it the Power Block ones? Is that the one you have?
I believe I have the Power Block, the very first one that came out with colors, the square ones.
Oh, those are perfect. Yeah, so you take the clip and you put it into the different color.
You take the clip. Exactly.
I love those.
I think about 60 pounds or something like that.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Those are wonderful. If I had a home gym, do it myself, I would have that, because that saves you so much space. It just seems so much, smarter.
It does.
No, that's great. Yeah, I always advise my clients, if they're looking for stuff to get at home, that's one of the first things I tell them. I say, get those interchangeable Power Block dumbbells, rather.
Well, a lot of people say, they're expensive. If you buy dumbbells individually, it will probably cost just as much and take up more space.
Good point. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
I'm sorry. What is your question going to be? Sorry.
Oh yeah, no. I'm sorry. I was going to ask you about your bicycling because last time when we were talking, I know you were just really getting heavily into your biking, and the season now that's getting nicer. I was going to ask you generally, have you been getting your biking in the last couple months since I spoke to you?
Not as much as I want to, and plus it's more flat here, and I'm used to hills.
Okay.
But then again, I think that's another thing that I I was hitting it pretty hard, so maybe it's good to give the joint a rest with a little bit less biking, and then hit it back again.
Okay, no, that's good because for myself personally, I was wondering. I'm in the search of buying a bicycle for myself. What's your advice, Jason, in general? Like, what should I be looking for? And do you have a preference on the certain bike, brands or anything like that? Mountain bike versus road bike, and etc.
I use a mountain bike, and mine is a felt.
Okay.
Mountain bike. It was actually given to me.
Oh.
A little, maybe just because I got used to on it, and it didn't work harder. But it's a hell of a bike, made out of like space age material and all that. And like I said, a friend of mine gave that to me because I was really getting into biking. And it's got the disc brakes and the whole thing, and it's pretty incredible. It's pretty incredible. It does the job. So I mean, you don't have to go for anything super fancy. Just I think they usually they're going to range anything decent, probably around $300 for something really decent. But it's going to last you a long time. But then again, Walmart's got bikes for just about $100, for someone just getting into it, and you don't have to go all out because obviously in the beginning you're not being in the hills.
Yeah, what about the speed differences? Because I know they go from like when I was a kid they had like 3-speed, 10-speed. Now I see like they got 21-speed. Like, do you have a recommendation on that?
I think mine is like a 21 or something like that.
Okay.
I kind of like that's only because I'm used to this particular bike.
Oh, okay.
But I rode different ones, and I think pretty much anything that, depending on what you want to do, depending on, if you want to go on flat distance, then, more than likely, racing bike.
Okay.
I'm not sure what range of speed choices they're manufactured in. However, if you're planning to do what I do, more like hills and more like a more difficulty as far as climbing, I think a good solid mountain bike will do.
Okay, very good. Yeah, that's a good workout. And I remember when you first told me how many miles you do, I was just like, wow, that's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
You're really into it. Yeah, I'm going to try to get into it because the other part of the reason is because I have a 15-month-old son that I bought one of those. You've seen those trailers where you put a little kid in there? Yeah, so I want one where I could lug him, I'm not getting too tired and, feeling out of my shape myself. So we'll see.
I think pretty much any of them, they come, it's just a simple hitch.
Yeah.
It's a simple hitch, and I think a fork, an extended fork that keeps the little buggy away from the hill.
Right, exactly.
Just enough to.
And it certainly adds on a good workout because he's up to almost 30 pounds now. So.
Oh yeah, it sure will.
Especially going up the hills.
Sure will. Yeah. Well, no, I was saying what I do is I fill my backpack. Hello?
Yeah, sorry, Jason. It cut for some reason.
It's okay.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. Yeah, you know what it is? It's raining over here, so sometimes
gotcha.
when it does so, it'll block the service.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. Yeah, no, but that's good though to be able to add that weight in there. I was going to say that adds a lot of strength training on your core and your back, being able to sit up like that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It does, definitely.
Awesome. And let me ask you my next question, Jason. I'm hearing a lot of people now coming up to me now that it's springtime officially, and people want to get lean and get ready for the beach and swimsuit season. What are some good tips that you have for people in general if they're listening out there and they're just like, man, I really need to do something, the next, 4 to 6 weeks to get ready for the beach or swimsuit?
Well, the first thing is kind of curb down on your diet, depending on how you've been eating throughout the winter. So, and that's pretty much self-explanatory. I mean, it's you got to watch the carbs, anything that will add on sugar. Of course, fats. I'm not too sure because people have different opinions of that. Because some people do eat quite a bit of fat, but they curb down carbs and they stay lean. Yes. So that's something that an individual must try. And a lot of people say, I'm going to eat a lot of fruit. Well, that's a mistake because that's simple sugars. A piece of fruit a day is not going to hurt. I'm going to drink a lot of juice. Big mistake again because maybe a glass of juice in the morning for energy and then for the rest. But if you start eliminating things like avoid sugar in your coffee, that'll help. Avoid junk foods and all that. I mean, it's pretty much self-explanatory. I mean, everything that will add unwanted weight, fat, and water under the skin is going to hinder the way you're going to look. And of course, up the cardio. And I suggest high volume training. High volume training. I mean, don't be so concerned as far as how much weight you're pushing, because all that is, unless you want to be a power lifter, an Olympic weightlifter, all that is just ego stuff that really will hurt you in the long run more than help you. So cut down in weight and just add on exercises. And I truly recommend giant sets. And maybe 3 to 4 rotations of, per body part, per different different parts of the particular body part, meaning, either upper pecs or mid, lower, that type of a thing. Just, add different exercises that'll hit all different angles. And along with the dieting and cardio, you'll see great changes in your physique.
Very true.
And also, I think not really counting reps is a good thing. Just pretty much go till failure. People say 11, 12, I mean, it's almost like you condition yourself mentally. It's a mind muscle control in which you're sort of doing it in a negative way because your mind is training your muscle to perform only so many reps for, let's say, a certain exercise, like an incline bench with a certain amount of weight. And it's almost like you're sticking, you're conditioning your mind to condition your body to only perform that many reps. It's like, I'm going to do 12. I got to do 6. I've got, and
that's a good point.
Kind of like, yeah. It's almost like you're
limiting yourself almost.
You're limiting yourself in a way that, sometimes you got to, make all these changes. And, I've watched, different bodybuilders and, the way that they train and, very little rest between and, they go from one exercise to another, and truly, and sometimes you can just do a whole, this super giant, huge, high volume set of different exercises, let's say for your back. And as long as you're warmed up, one set of each and feel that your back workout is done and you've hit all your, all the muscles and all the muscle groups, within, let's say that particular muscle group, like all, just all different angles, you just hit it. And sometimes, that really works well. So you just got to try different things, but I truly suggest, I suggest high volume training because that for me works best. Excellent.
Very well said, Jason. And then getting back to the wrestling part of it, there's a show coming up with the Evolve ECW reunion in Middletown, New York, coming up, I believe, promoted by PWF on May 29th. Is that correct?
May 29th, yes.
Yes. Can you tell us about that show for the people that live in the area about it?
Well, other than us ECW guys, I think there's going to be an array of super talented young wrestlers, and yeah, I think the show is going to be well worth it to come and check out. And I believe, of course, the Sandman's going to be there, and I believe that the Sandman's son Tyler and I will face Pitbull Gary Wolf and Ujak.
Very good.
In a tag team match, and you can guarantee it's going to be a wild one and a lot of fun to watch.
Oh, it's going to be crazy! Yeah, wow.
Yep, I think so.
That's
I'm
wonderful.
looking forward to that.
Yeah, that is terrific. And so, since the last time I spoke to you, this is the first time you're getting back into the ring, correct?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes, I've been taking some time off, and just sort of concentrating on some other things and other projects and all that. So. It'll be fun.
Very good. And can you tell us, Jason, can you tell us a little bit about PWF, and how can people who are living in the area find out more information about tickets?
I do think that they have their website and Facebook.
Okay.
And I will look into it a little bit later on when I can, and I will make sure that I post something as soon as I find out.
Yeah, and we'll get this information on the screen as well. That way, anybody wants to take it down, they'll have it.
Perfect.
Perfect. Very good. Well, I'm looking forward to that. That's exciting. I can't wait. So May 29th, Middletown, New York, ECW reunion show, and you'll be there. So really looking forward to that. Do you foresee wrestling more during this year, Jason, for 2016?
I hope so. I mean, I'm not. I don't have a. I did not set a limitation as far as how much further I'm going to keep going. It's just, simply until I decide not to, or something else inevitable. However, there's no limit. I just, I'm going to keep going for as long as promoters are interested in hiring me, and people are interested in watching me perform. That's just, I've never really thought of retiring or anything like that. Not yet, anyway.
Very good. And is there any specific things that you need to do in preparation for this match? You've got about a month here now. What do you have to do to psych yourself up to get back into the ring?
Nothing but keep reminding myself on the fact that I'm going to be with some old friends, and it's going to be fun. And as far as everything else, what's going to happen during the match, look, our bodies have gone through that a million times, so it's nothing new. I just love performing, and whether I'm teaming up with my old friends or facing them, it's always a lot of fun.
Definitely, yeah, that's the key.
So that to me is it's preparation enough.
Yeah, certainly. I'm excited. That's going to be great, Jason. So again, we'll make sure we had the website on the screen so people could take it down and get a chance to look at that. But that's awesome, Jason. And again, I always enjoy talking to you. It's truly a pleasure speaking to you and being able to pick your brain. And being able to, your advice and suggestions are just top notch. I get so much good feedback whenever I post my interviews with you. So I hope that you'll allow me to please continue to be having you as a recurring guest and asking
anytime.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Jason. You are the man.
Anytime.
I really
thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Certainly. No.
I'm very happy to hear that.
Thank you. And anything else you want to say to any of your fans out there, or if they're listening, best ways for them to reach out to you and find how to contact you directly?
Well, like I said, Facebook is the best and the easiest way, and I'm glad that there are still people out there that remember me, and I appreciate that. I feel humbled and very, very grateful for that. So thank you very much, and I hope that this year will be a great one for all of us.
Yeah.
Minus, a few sad events and setbacks. Hopefully, we'll continue to just move forward and better ourselves.
I like that, Jason. I like what you said. It's very powerful and very uplifting, too, and thinking about the memories of Balls and Axel in the light of celebrating their lives in China as well. So that's wonderful, and I really appreciate it, Jason. And so let's have you back on next month, and maybe what we'll do, if you're available in May, I'll get you on, and we'll talk about how, as the show's getting closer for you with your match with Tyler against Pitbull, Gary Wolf, and also the New Jack in that match too. We could talk about that.
Perfect.
Perfect. Yes. All right. Okay. Well, very good, Jason. Well, again, like I said, I appreciate it, and for all the folks listening out there, as we fade to black, and we're going to have Jason Knight, the sexiest man on earth, contact information on the screen. So here it is. Jason, thank you so much again, sir.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. Thank you. Okay, everybody, there you have it. Jason Knight, sexiest man on earth, here on GoTarryn TV, an ECW original. He will be at the ECW reunion show in Middletown, New York, so if you live in the area, please check out the website. We gave you the links, and go to the PWF Evolve and look at the show coming up May 29th. It's going to be awesome. You don't want to miss it, and again, you will see Jason Knight there. As he said, he's going to be teaming up with Tyler Fullington, of course, the Sandman son. They're going to be going up against Pitbull, Gary Wolf, and New Jack. That's going to be an unbelievably crazy match, I can tell you right now. So, if you can make the show, great. And if you want to reach out to Jason, you saw his contact information on Facebook, so definitely give him a shout-out. Say that you liked hearing his interview right here on GoTarryn TV. And I got to say this, too. Every time I have Jason Knight on here, I love interviewing him because, again, getting the chance to pick his brain and being able to see his advice and suggestions and tips on fitness, health, and wellness certainly helps me out because I can take some of those ideas and borrow them and be able to use them with some of my clients as well. So, Jason, please keep up the great work that you're doing and all that you're doing, and everything that you said about the late Balls and Axel and, of course, China. I think that was very fitting, and it was very uplifting, too, talking about to celebrate their memories, and I think that's just wonderful. So, again, wonderful interview again, Jason. Let's have you back on next month and get some last-minute hyping and promoting for the show that you're going to be on in PWF Evolve in Middletown, New York, for the ECW reunion show. Really looking forward to that. And everyone else out there, thank you so much for watching today's GoTarryn TV audio podcast with Jason Knight. And definitely stay tuned for the rest of the next video blogs coming up in the next couple of weeks. It's going to be an exciting May, and here we are in a new month. I just can't believe it. April just flew by so quick, and again, here we are in a new month and more video blogs to come. So until I see you guys next time, please make sure to check the website link at the bottom of your screen, and also make sure to like GoTarryn on Facebook, subscribe to GoTarryn on YouTube, follow GoTarryn on Twitter, and that'll keep you connected with Tarryn the Traveling Trainer, master of the personal training universe, who always tells each and every one of you that it's your time, it's your investment, it's your life. We'll see you on the next video blog, everybody. Bye-bye.